So you're thinking about buying a new construction home, or maybe you're even on the fence about buying or building a new construction home. Well, today we're going to go over the 5 misconceptions that most people have with new construction. So stick around because you don't want to miss it. Welcome to the Discovering Central Indiana YouTube channel. I'm Eric with the Pels Realty Group. And if this is the first time on the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Central Indiana and the Central Indiana market, go ahead and subscribe below. My business partner, Julie, and I, we get calls and texts every single day from people just like you who are looking to make their move to Central Indiana. So whether that's in 9 days or 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or set up a Zoom call. Here in Central Indiana, there's just so much new construction, especially when it comes to Westfield and Noblesville, and some even in Fishers. There's just a lot going on here because there aren't tons of pre-existing homes to buy from, so a lot of people will go with new construction homes. But of course, there are some misconceptions that come with the new construction home, so we're going to go and cover that today. But before we do, we are here in the David Weekley Community Harvest Trails in Westfield, Indiana, and just wanted to give a brief shout out to Aaron and Hunter, who are 2 sales reps who are letting us film here in Harvest Trails, and we're going to be filming in that house as well. So thank you. Definitely, if you're looking in Harvest Trails, they are really great and knowledgeable sales reps. The first misconception a lot of people are going to have when it comes to new construction is that it is more expensive than pre-existing homes. And sometimes that can be true depending on what your budget is and what you're looking for in a home. But here in Central Indiana, we have a housing shortage. Throughout a lot of the US, there is a housing shortage.
In the current market here in Central Indiana, with a supply and demand issue where there's a low supply and a high demand, of course, prices are going to rise for pre-existing homes.
New construction is your next best option, especially since you get to choose a lot of the finishes, especially if you do a dirt build. Your cabinet colors, your floors, your backsplash, carpet, all of that, you get to choose, and it's not lived in, because when you move into a pre-existing home, you know, you want to personalize it and make it your own, maybe even get it professionally cleaned out carpet stains, or just clean off the walls because, you know, other people lived in it before you did. Misconception number 2 is going to be new construction isn't built well. So there's always that old adage, you know, they don't build them like they used to, and there is some truth to that, but it also just depends on the builder and even your construction manager, because your construction manager can honestly make or break how well built the home is, because he's going to be on top of the subcontractors. So we are in a David Weekley home, and I'd say from what we're seeing now, this is very well built. So one thing that they do is with all the exterior framing, they're going to have 2x6s. So it's going to help with, one, insulation. You're going to be able to have more thicker insulation between your drywall and your boards. And then it's also going to help with bearing the load as well. It's just going to last longer. 2x6 is always going to be better than 2x4s. 2x6 is just a little more expensive. One thing I will also note is this is a really clean construction site. Obviously no one's building in it right now, but it's framed, they've got the windows in, but it's also clean. Yes, there's a little dirt here and there, but that is to be expected. Where earlier today we were in some other framed houses where there was just mud everywhere and just standing water. It wasn't good. Where here, you can see there's no standing water. There's a little bit of mud here and there, but that's to be expected, especially when it is cold, wet, and rainy, because it is winter right now here in Central Indiana. But in terms of new construction not being built well, I can't agree with everything. It just depends on your builder and your construction manager who will make or break how well built it is. And the nice thing is, if you do what we would call a dirt build, building it from, you buy the lot and you build from the ground up, the nice thing is you can walk through that build throughout any point in the construction phase, and you can bring up concerns that you have with your construction manager. Misconception number 3 about new construction is it's too confusing. Wow, there are many steps that go into building, and with new construction, that is where having a good construction manager is going to help, and even a good sales reps too, where they can walk you through the entire process, because honestly, there is a lot that happens in new construction. There's a lot that can go wrong, because one construction manager once told me, this is construction, things happen, things break. And if you've watched our new construction process video, that will take you through all the different steps on a high level, just so you know what you're getting into. But windows break, things go wrong, pipes burst, hopefully the pipes don't burst, but water isn't getting to the water heater. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that can happen, but that's where hiring a good builder who is going to walk you through this entire process and hold your hand, because it's a lot, that is key. Having someone that you can be on the same page with, agree with, and just get along with, that's a really big thing, especially the getting along part. Misconception number 4 is going to be you don't need an independent inspection. Don't worry, the builder will do it. We inspect our own things. The city inspector will come out and check everything. Still, you need to have an independent inspection. And I'm not saying that the builder is going to screw you or anything like that or try to pull one over, but we are all human, and having an independent third party come in and look at everything is key. There are things that happen that can easily be missed. No shame on the builder or anything like that, but that's just the reality. Things get missed. Things are tested one time and it works, and then the independent inspector can come in and test it again, and maybe they discover a leak, or maybe they discover, hey, this water heater isn't working. It's not heating up the water. So that's where having someone to come in, look at everything top to bottom, especially in the before the pre-drywall phase. Basically in a house that looks like this. This is right before drywall, where you have all of your plumbing, you have a lot of your electrical that has already run. So now they're going to start drywalling here shortly. So now's the perfect time to have an inspector come in and really look at the bones of the house, because this is what we're in right now, the bones of the house, because you can't see all this stuff when it's drywalled. That's where the inspector will come in. He will look at everything, and he will also write up a report and give you that report. And so then you can read that report. He'll bring up any issues that he sees, and then you can take that to your builder and construction manager and voice these concerns, and they should take care of it for you. That's why having that inspector is so crucial before pre-drywall. And then a couple weeks before you close, you want to have another independent inspection done where they can test your cooktop, your fireplace, your ovens, and your microwaves. Make sure they can test the water, make sure the water is getting to the sinks, the toilets, and where it needs to go. Make sure there aren't leaks. Also test electrical as well. It's just a lot of things can happen, and this inspector is going to check all that stuff. That's why it's such an important thing to do. Now, I will say, if you are working with a builder and they are telling you, oh, you don't need an independent inspection, that definitely raises a red flag in my opinion, because they should welcome it. No builder who is doing a good, honest job should be concerned about having an independent inspector come in and check things. Now, of course, everyone can miss things. The builder might be able to miss things because, think about it, they're building the home. There's just so much that they have to manage and check off. So it's easy to miss a few things here or there. But the issue is when the builder is trying to talk you out of having an independent inspection done. They should not be concerned whatsoever. They should welcome it and see what issues they might be present in the home, so then they can correct it. Another important thing about having an inspector come in is, this is a fireplace right here. Fireplaces, they get hot, they vent hot, gases, flue gases. So one thing the inspector can do is they can come in and they can see, hey, this looks good, no, this doesn't look good. I used to sell chimney masonry repair, and I couldn't tell you how many times I came across a fireplace where it had combustible materials where it shouldn't have combustible materials. Always make sure you look at the manual to see what the manufacturer is telling you about the fireplace. And this fireplace is what we would call a direct vent fireplace, where it is venting up through the top out of the roof, and it's built in a factory, so they're going to have different tolerances. But that right there is another reason why you want an inspector to come in, because then they can also check clearances for things that get hot. Ovens, fireplaces, make sure your HVAC is vented correctly, the plumbing is run correctly for your water heater, all of that. The fifth and final misconception about new construction is you don't need representation or real estate agent. That's where I would disagree. Yes, of course, I am a real estate agent, but here's why. With a real estate agent, we can guide you through the entire process. We are the only constant that you're gonna have in the entire process, because you're gonna start at the sales office, they're gonna then hand you off to then the design studio, if there's a design studio, and then from there, you'll go to the construction manager. So you're changing hands multiple times, whereas we will be there with you throughout the entire process. We can help you negotiate on certain aspects, especially like amenities and upgrades with the home. Another misconception that you've probably heard or even thought yourself is it's cheaper to buy new construction without an agent, that you might get money off the house when you don't have an agent representing you, but that is actually not true. That is false, because when it comes to builders and new construction, they do not pay us realtors out of the proceeds of the sale of your home. It comes from a completely different account, so it does not affect your price at all. So, you know, if you go into new construction office and think, hey, I can get X amount off because I'm not represented by an agent, that is actually false. That is not true, and you won't be able to get money off just because you aren't represented by an agent. As your agent, we will be constantly checking up on the process of that build, making sure everything looks good. We will even be able to recommend different inspectors, since having that independent inspection is such an important thing. We work with inspectors all the time, and we can refer you to some really good ones. Another benefit of having an agent represent you with new construction is we can absolutely recommend different builders to you. We work with lots of builders all over Central Indiana. We see a lot of different things when it comes to new construction. So we can tell you, hey, this is our experience with, you know, X, Y, and Z builder. Here's what we've seen, and here's some of the common issues that have come up with that. So we can absolutely give you recommendations. But just also remember, it is ultimately your choice and your decision on who you go with in terms of builders. When you go to the model home, just be sure that your agent is with you, because if your agent is not with you, they will potentially get cut out of the deal, and then we won't be able to help you or negotiate or check up on the project because we were cut out of it. So just remember, if you go to a model home, make sure your agent is there, or if you go to a model home without an agent, make sure that you specifically say, hey, I'm working with so-and-so, give them their card. So those are the top 5 misconceptions about new construction that people will have, the key questions that people have, and there's a lot that goes into new construction. And if you want to learn more about new construction, go ahead and watch our new construction process video. That's where we film the entire process of a client's dirt build, and that will answer more of your questions and just show you the entire process from, you know, sales office all the way to closing. And hopefully you will find that helpful. And or if you're looking to move in 9 days or 9 months, give us a call, shoot us a text, send us an email, or set up a Zoom call.